Hello? Hello? Am I audible to you?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma. How are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Shortly, I'll start the class, ma. Okay. Shortly, I'm going to start the class. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall we wait or start the class? Shall we wait or start the class, ma? Hello? Shall we wait or start the class, ma?
Start the class.
Okay, right. So in the last class yesterday, so far we have completed the 4 units. That is 4 blocks we have completed in 4 classes. The first topic we discussed, that is block number 1, that is about the business. Second and third block we discussed about the forms of business organization under part 1 and part 2. In that we discussed the different forms of business organization as sole trading concern, partnership concern, joint Hindu family, cooperatives, and lastly the joint stock company. So now here let us discuss this topic, and the fourth topic is sources of finance. So in this sources of finance, that is yesterday in the 4th class we discussed, that is sources of finance. That in shortcut I'll tell you, so that those who were absent yesterday can know what I discussed. Sources of finance obviously is the deciding the right source of finance is obviously the very important, and it is crucial for making the decisions in the business, and which can be taken by the top level finance managers. So one thing you remember, that wrong source of finance increase the cost of funds, which in turn would have direct impact on the feasibility of the project. At the same time, improper match of type of capital with business requirements may go against the smooth functioning of the business. So in that, we discuss the different sources like the raising of the capital with the help of the preference shares, equity shares, redeemable profits, etc., like that. We discuss the different concepts. At the same time, we discuss the recent trends in the sources of finance also. That is in the block number 4. So now coming to the last part, that is the block number 5. We have to discuss about the topic that in this you could find the 2 topics. That is, 1 minute. We need to discuss the 2 topics, that is the stock exchange and the commodity market. So now you can see the slide here once. All of you can see the slide, that here 2 topics are there in this block, that is stock exchange and commodity market. So here let us discuss the first one. What is stock exchange? So stock exchange, hope it is visible to you. So before discussing the definition, just go through the meaning of this stock exchange and the definition also. So remember that what is stock exchange? Stock exchange is nothing but it is a very important factor in the capital market. So what is capital market? Remember that there are two types of markets. One is money market and the one is capital market. Money market is a market for raising of the short-term funds or the short-term finance, whereas the capital market is for the raising of the long-term capital. So this stock exchange is regarded as an important factor in the capital market. It is a secure place where, 1 minute. It is a secure place where trading is done in a systematic way. That means here, if you see the definition, leave the definition, just you see the meaning here. So by seeing the meaning here of the stock exchange in briefly, we can tell that it is a secure place where the trading will be done in a systematic manner. So what is the trading being done here? The trading is nothing but the securities. Securities means the shares, the debentures, bonds, etc., etc. All these are called as securities. These securities are bought and sold as per well-structured rules and regulations. These securities mentioned here, that means these securities, whatever I told, what are they? Shares, debentures, bonds, etc., are correctly being listed in the stock exchange. And they are being issued by the government bodies or the municipal bodies or the public bodies. So what is happening here? Typically here, the bonds, especially for example, you take the bonds. The bonds are being traded over OTC. For example, what do you mean by OTC here? Over the counter. But a few corporate bonds are sold in the market. Remember that. So here you see here the bonds, especially if you see the bonds over this OTC, they are being traded, but a few corporate bonds are only sold in the stock exchange. That means it can enforce the rules and regulations on the brokers and firms which are enrolled with them. So in simple words, see the definition here, the definition being defined here. So by this definition, in simple words, we can say that stock exchange is nothing but it is just like the forum where the securities like this stocks means here the bonds, the shares, etc., etc., are being purchased and traded, being purchased and sold. This can be both on online trading platform and at the same time in the offline. Offline means here physical location also. So what are the features of this stock exchange here? So what are the features here? So the features are nothing but it is an organized market. 1 minute. Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So the features of stock exchange. So by these features, we can say that number one is this stock exchange is marketed for the securities. So that means that is why it is called as a securities market. That means it is a wholesome market where the securities of government, corporate companies, or the semi-government companies are being bought and sold. Secondly, at the same time, it is an organized market where it associates with the bonds, shares that have already been announced by the company once previously. At the same time, it regulates the trade in securities. That means the stock exchange does not sell and buy the bonds and the shares on its own account. The broker or the exchange members do not do the trade on the company behalf. At the same time here, if you see the stock exchange deals only in the registered securities. So that means only the listed securities are being recorded in the stock exchange office and it can be traded. And one more thing, transaction is very important. Only through authorized brokers and members, the transaction for securities can be made. At the same time, it is well recognized. It recognizes to be recognized by the central government. And it develops and indicates the growth and security of every business in the index of a stock exchange. And lastly, we can say that in shortcut, I can tell you that it operates as per the rules and regulations and as per the SEBI guidelines. SEBI means here SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. As per this guidelines only, it can be operated. So remember that here, this stock exchange is regarded as a very, very important. So how can it be regarded as an important? Just if you see the functions, you can tell that it is very, very important here. So here, remember that the functions, it provides the liquidity and the stability to the existing securities. So how can it determines? That means how can it provides? That means in shortcut, it means that here it determines the security prices. So since the stock exchange operates on the demand and supply of the securities, this concept is leveraged for determining the prices on a continuous basis. And here, I think you know that the speculation accelerates this demand and supply in the market. So thus we can say that the stock exchange provides the liquidity and the stability, especially in the pricing of the securities. Next one is, at the same time, it maintains the liquidity also. It maintains the liquidity, at the same time, it provides the, stabilizes the security prices also. Next one is safety of transactions. So remember that these stock exchange are in organized manner. That means they are called as organized markets. That means how they are operated. How can you tell that they are organized markets here? Because they are fully being protected by the interest of the investors, where these are being owned and controlled by the SEBI. SEBI means, just now I told you, Securities Exchange Board of India. That means by its own laws and bylaws. So remember one important point, that every member of the stock exchange has to follow these rules and regulations of the bylaws, and no one should violate these laws. Otherwise, if they violate these laws, finally the membership will be cancelled. So that is why we call this stock exchange being functioning with the safety of transactions you find here. And it contributes to the economic development or the growth. That means it indicates the economic state of the country. That means the stock exchange are very effectively indicate the economic state of the country. The traders can identify the industries that are growing and that are seeing a downfall. On a macro level, you can identify the sectors that are blooming, and at the micro level, you can identify the particular companies that are facing losses. So overall, we can say that the entire picture of an economy can be understood through the situation of the stock exchange. So at the same time, it spreads the information. That means every information relating to the economic condition, relating to the stock exchange, will be listed in separate, that is listed company. That means it will be listed in the stock exchange. So actually this information is to be published, or in case of need, anybody can get it from the stock exchange free of any cost. That means, what does it mean here? So some companies will be listed, and here if you want to purchase or sell any type of securities by this listed companies with the prices, you can either purchase or sell the securities. Next one is provides a scope for the speculation. So why do you purchase the securities? In the future, you want to get the profit. in the form of dividend or whatever it is, you want to get the profit. So that means here, as a result of change in their market price. So that concept is called as speculation. So under the Securities Act only, that is SEBI Act only, everything will be followed. Finally, it provides the liquidity to the securities also. So these are the functions of the stock exchange. Other than that, there are other functions also. Other functions may be the provision of the right to the investors. So providing the rights to investors means that here the traders invest in this equity shares which enable them with the voting rights. As the number goes up, the traders get the right to vote and also get a part in the profit earned by the company. And moreover, every investor gets the hold on the number of shares, more is their ownership in the company. So obviously, the other function of the stock exchange is nothing but providing rights to the investors. At the same time, there are other functions also, that is, it attracts the foreign investments. So that means one of the important function of the stock exchange is attracting the funds from the foreign entities. So by this, it increases the influx of the capital within the national market, which in turn increases the opportunity to earn more. So these are the stock exchange functions. Okay, so now you can see the next slide. There are different famous stock exchanges. That is, New York Stock Exchange is a famous one, London Stock Exchange too, and in our country you have the BSE Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange also. These are the oldest stock exchanges. Okay, so now here, before dealing the second topic, thus we can say that, hope you have understood the topic of the stock exchange. So thus we can say that stock exchanges are the dynamic marketplaces that have numerous opportunities of gains for the traders. So however, this dynamic nature makes it equally risk in nature. Due to this, it is important for the traders to do a thorough analysis of the exchange. That is very, very important. At the same time, the traders should understand the type of securities that they are going to trade in the particular stock exchange. Basing on this complete understanding, or I can say that complete research, the trader should step into the trade in the stock exchange. So this is very, very important. So this is the first topic in this 5th unit. Now let us go to the next topic, that is called as the commodity market. What is commodity market? So here you can see the picture. You can, to some extent, you can get the some meaning of the word commodity. So what does it mean here? Commodity market. Before that, what is commodity? So remember that you could have the commodity markets have their roots in the trading of especially the agriculture products also. At the same time, they have trading in the physical trading of the food items or the energy or the metals or the gold or whatever it is. So what is commodity market? So commodity market is nothing but it is a place where trading in commodities takes place. So these are the markets where raw and primary products are exchanged. And these are regulated on the commodity exchanges in which they are bought and sold in the standardized contents. So here this commodity market plays an important part here. So it helps to trade some commodities. So what are those commodities here? So the commodities are, these are the commodities. So these commodities, what we are going to discuss now, you can see the two types of slides here. The commodities can be divided or classified into different categories. And these commodities can be traded, where raw and primary products are being exchanged. So that means these products are being purchased and sold in the standardized contracts. That means they are bought and sold. These commodities are bought and sold. So what are they? If you see the right side slide, you can see the different 4 types of commodities are there. One is agricultural commodities. Next one is soft commodities, energetical commodities, and they can be traded also. So first, let us discuss these different types of commodities. So what are agricultural commodities? You can say rice, wheat, corn, etc., etc. All these are the agricultural products comes under this category. Other than this, there are some soft commodities also, coffee, cotton, sugar, etc. At the same time, energetical means energies in shortcut. They are crude oil, petroleum, byproducts of petroleum, heating oil, natural gas, etc. So these are the different types of commodities. So how they are going to trade this type of commodities? Through this, that means the way that they are going to trade will be in different types. So that means there are different types of markets for commodity trading. One is called as spot trading. Second one is called as future trading. Third one is forward trading. Fourth one, option trading, swap trading. So what does it mean here? Let us see here once. What is the first one? Spot trading. That is in brief, I'm going to tell. Spot trading is nothing but here instant cash is used to physically exchange the commodities which pass from the seller's hands to the users. On the spot itself, physically exchange of commodities takes place where the cash will be moved from the seller to the buyer. So that is called as spot trading. Future trading is also called as the forward markets and future markets also. So here, that means the name itself indicates future. That means with a view to ascertain the future value of the same commodity. So in the future, if you assess the value for the same type of commodity, that type of trading is called as future trading. Next one is option trading. Option trading are nothing but the contracts that give the owner the right, but not an obligation to buy the call option or the sell option and asset. So they'll give you 2 types of options. So one is called as call option. Call option means they'll give the options to buy the commodity or sell the option. So selling the option called as put option. So these are applied for the securities also. Not only don't stick on only to one type of commodity. These are applicable for the other commodities like the securities also. And the swap commodities, swap trading is nothing but these are the contracts exchanged in the cash flows. What are cash flows? Cash inflow, cash outflow. Before the specific future date, based on the underlying value of bonds or the interest rates or the currencies, exchange rates, stocks, commodities, and other assets. So just now I told you, not only these type of commodities are applicable to one type of commodity, it is applicable irrespective of all the 3 types, it is applicable for the securities also. That is other type of assets also. So for protecting this commodity trading, there are different acts or legislations being passed to protect this commodity market. They are Companies Act, at present Companies Act 2013, Stamp Act, Contract Act, Essential Commodities Act, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, and the different types of legislations or the acts. At present, they are functioning in order to protect these commodities. So here, if you see here, there are different types of Indian commodities. So mostly if we speak in the Indian scenario, commodity exchange means, what does it mean? It deals with all this. It includes the precious metals and other type of metals, or the energetical, that is crude oil and the natural gas, and the oils and the oilseed complex, fibers and other agro products, and other type of minerals also. So buy this commodity market, remember that it has some advantages. So the advantages are nothing but it can be whenever you want. It can be flowed fastly. That means here liquidity of cash is possible. And here we can say that whatever we discuss here under this, these are the markets where the raw material products are being exchanged, and it covers the physical product markets also. So thus, at the same time, here you could find it is similar to the equity market. Equity market, but instead of buying or selling the shares, one can buy and sell the commodities. So this is about the commodity market. So thus, we have completed the 5th unit also. Any doubts in this regard?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now we have completed all the 5 blocks. Block number 1 is about the business, introduction to business. Block number 2 is forms of business organization under part 1. And block number, that means in that we discussed about the sole proprietorship concern, partnership concern, and the cooperatives and Hindu undivided family, HUF. And in the 3rd block, we discussed about the joint stock company. In the 4th block, we discussed about the sources of finance. And in the last 5th block, we discussed about the stock exchange and the commodity market. Any doubts up to this? You can just, I'll give you 2 minutes time so that we'll discuss in, we'll discuss about the important concepts. I want to discuss some important concepts. In the meantime, if you have any doubts or queries, just you can ask me.
No doubts, ma'am.
Any more?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Hope you understood. If I ask any questions, are you in a position to respond? Huh? Can I ask you the questions? Questions cannot be
Yes, ma'am.
asked. Can I ask you the questions? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Can anyone tell what are the different forms of business organization? Can anyone tell the different forms of business organization? Please respond. Different forms of business organization. Can anyone respond, please? Hurry up fast. Respond, please. What are the different forms of business organization? Okay, so many people have raised their hands. Please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and respond. Tell me. At least one student.
Sole proprietorship,
Tell me, ma.
joint in the family.
First, what is the first one in order? Please respond.
Sole proprietorship, ma'am. Sole proprietorship,
So
Joint.
proprietorship.
joint in the family.
Yes.
Partnership firm,
Yes.
joint stock company,
Yes.
cooperative society.
Very good. Okay. So now we are, let me discuss. I have kept one file. I kept one file. You asked me the important questions. I kept the file, but I'm being on searching. It is not available. But if the time permits, if any class, if the time permits, especially one class, I'll take only for the important questions. But briefly, I'll tell you for the important questions. Okay. So here I'm searching for the file. I'm not able to get it, but I have prepared only for you. I don't know where it disappeared. One minute. Okay. Okay. So just we'll see here. One minute. Let me search for 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Separately, one file I kept here on the. Please unmute yourself. Please mute yourself. Just wait for 1 minute. Otherwise, I'll tell you. I have prepared one file. I think it is only for you the last year, 2022 itself, when you asked about to give the important questions on the in the last year itself, I prepared it. I'll see whether it is there or not. Otherwise, okay. So it's not, I'm later on when the time permits, again, I'll take especially only for the important questions. Now, let me tell the important questions. Is it visible, ma?
No,
Yes,
madam.
Yes,
No?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, right. Now here you see total 5 units. In this, the important concepts, first you see here, the business, industry plus commerce. Okay, so you may be asked, explain the, if you want to note down, you can note down it, explain the different concepts of business. Note down firstly. First question, I'm telling only the long answer questions. Explain the important concepts of business. So when this question is given, it means you have to write about the industry, you have to write about the trade, you have to write about the aids to commerce, or otherwise about the commerce you have to write.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please, can you repeat the question, ma'am?
Explain the block number 1. Put the heading block number 1.
Okay.
Explain the important concepts
Important concepts
of
of
business,
business,
comma, trade,
yeah, ma'am.
trade, TRADE, trade,
Trade,
industry,
industry,
and commerce.
and commerce. Yeah, ma'am.
So when this question is being asked, now you see the slide here once.
Yeah, ma'am.
Is it visible?
No,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am. It's not clear.
Okay, I'll stop it and again start.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, hope it is visible now.
No, ma'am.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah,
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 ma'am.
it's visible.
So when this question is given, see this equation, remember this equation and you can,
Industry.
okay.
Industry plus
So
commerce.
that means explain something about the business, explain something about industry, explain something about commerce. What is commerce? Already I told you. Equation of commerce is trade plus aids to trade. So explain something about business means write the meaning and definition of business, write the features, and afterwards some objectives if you can. And in this classification of business, you can get the equation of business. Just now I told you business equals to industry plus commerce. So you have need to explain about the industry as well as the commerce. So just you take the screenshot of this picture. This is the complete meaning of this long answer question. If you go through this long answer question, you can write long answer as well as the short answer also.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this, you can get the blanks also, multiple choice questions also you can get it. Okay, everything, blanks, multiple choice, everything you are going to get from this. So this is very, very important. That is the first long answer question from the block number 1. Second block, long answer question that is about corporate social responsibility. Second one, corporate social responsibility. In this, go through the meaning. Scope is important. Areas are important. At the same time here, this areas and scope is very, very important. Other concepts are also important. And don't stick on only to the questions, whatever I tell. First, you complete these questions. Then if you have that time, then you go through the other questions also. So just if you want to pass, just go through my question. If you want to get more marks when compared to the other students with your competitors, so try to go through all the questions. Inner meaning, don't by heart it. Inner meaning, try to get the inner meaning. And try to remember this online classes when you write the exam. How I presented the slide. So just recap that slide. Then it will be easier. So every time remember that for any question, I'm showing one slide with one diagram. So the same diagram, if you draw in the main exam for the long answer question especially, remember that you can score more marks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, understood all of you? So the
Yes,
second
ma'am.
question is relating to the corporate social responsibility.
Yeah, ma'am.
Next, come to the block number 2.
Yeah, ma'am.
Forms of business organization. In this, the different forms are there. In that, the first question is relating to the sole proprietorship advantages and disadvantages. Next one is partnership advantages and disadvantages. Are you writing?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. After that, in this partnership, a part of the advantages and disadvantages, you have the different types of partners. Mostly it may come for the short answer question. Go through all these types of partners, and especially in these types of partners, see the minor partner. Minor as a partner is very, very important. So whenever I show the slide, please take the screenshot of that so that it will be remembered for you. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Okay, then it will be clear for everyone. Okay, so that is why this type of partners are very important. And very important question in this partnership business is partnership deed. This is very, very important long answer question. A part of this partnership, you may get the differences between differentiate between the sole proprietorship and partnership also, and between the other forms of business organization also. A part of this here, limited liability partnership is the latest form of organization. This is also in shortcut, it is called as LLP. That is also very important. Okay. Next, coming to the next form of business organization, that is cooperatives. In this, mostly the principles are very important. When this question is given, you can write the meaning and definition, and the advantages and disadvantages, go through it. At the same time, the principles of cooperative societies also go through it. So these are important in the block number 2. And every time, don't think that only these questions you have to write. Try to focus on the other questions also. Try to remember at least the side headings. Okay. So just for assisting you only, I'm telling these concepts. Not very important. Just I'm telling you. I'm trying to help you to some extent. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Coming to the third block, joint stock company. This is very, very important block. Okay, so where you can find the number of the questions. In that, note down the first question, that is advantages and disadvantages of joint stock company. If at all, if they want to give the features, combine both the advantages and disadvantages, you can get the features there. Okay, so when you go through this concept, go through the meaning and definition of joint stock company with advantages and disadvantages. This is the first question in this block number 3. After that, go through the different, second important question here is registration of a company. How can a company be registered? What formalities are to be observed? That is very, very important. So that means there are different stages in the promotion of a company. That stages you have to write here. That is steps for the registration of a company or steps for the incorporation of the company. All these steps will come here. Next, here you see here, documents. Third important question is explain about the important documents of a company. That is the third long answer question. Again, I repeat, explain the important documents of a company. So where you can find, you want me to slow the picture? Okay, slowly I'll move it. Okay. Where the important documents of a company means, note down memorandum of association. Second one is articles of association. Third one is prospectus. Go through all these 3 important documents perfectly. These are the 3 main important documents. Other than that, there are other documents also. Okay. In these types of companies, you can get the important, if you ask me what are the different types of company means, public company and private company, you may get the long answer question to differentiate between the private company and the public company. Coming to the differences, see here the different forms of organization here. So remember that the differences they may ask, 1 difference or 2 differences they may ask. First, you see the sole proprietorship and partnership. So these 2 differences they may ask, sole proprietorship versus partnership concern. Differentiate between sole trading concern and the partnership concern. Or partnership concern with the joint Hindu family, or partnership concern with the cooperatives, or joint Hindu family with the cooperatives. And for example, sole trading concern or the partnership and the joint stock company. So all these 5 they can ask. In this, any 2 they can ask, or any one, that means differentiate between the 2 they can ask. Understood all of you? So the differences are very, very important here. So in this, the forms of business, the important documents of a company is important. The steps for the incorporation of the company is important. And the advantages and disadvantages of the joint stock company is important. If you go through these 3 questions, you have completed the block number 3 perfectly. Understood up to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Other than that, here you could find the other documents. Just I have shared. You can write those documents in a short paragraph only, in 1 or 2 lines only. Okay, right? So everything I have shared it. Just you can see here. Now, coming to the block number 4, that is sources of finance. Here, this picture will give you the complete description of the, wait, let me see, show the picture. 1 minute. So see the picture in the block number 4. This picture will give you the complete description of the block number 4. That is different sources of finance. If you go through all this, you can cover the short answer. You can cover the multiple choice questions or the objective type questions. You can cover the long answer also. Just remember this picture. If you want, you can take the screenshot of this. Next, coming to the block number 5. Okay, block number 5, you can go through it. In the stock exchange and the commodity market is there. So first question you may be asked about the functions of the stock exchange. So where you have to write the meaning and definition of stock exchange with the functions. That is the first wrong answer question in this. A part of this, you could find the commodity market also. In this, other than this, you can maybe ask any two stock exchanges, especially in our country, that is NSE. NSE means National Stock Exchange, or the BSE means Bombay Stock Exchange. You may be asked that questions. In the commodity market, you will get these questions. That is the different types of market for the commodity trading. It is useful for the objective type questions, at the same time for the long answer or the short answer question also, with its advantages and disadvantages. Now, any more? Understood the important questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubts you can ask other than this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I don't have, you are asking me to post in the group. I don't have any group, ma. If the university gives any group, I'm ready to share. Okay. If the university permits also, I'm ready to share only the important questions. But whatever it is, I wish you best of luck for the future career. And please write well. One more thing before telling the important best of luck, just note down how to write the long answer and short answer question. Small tips I'll tell you. Okay, just note down in a separate book. Okay, just please mute yourself and note down in the separate book. Okay, first for the long answer question, let me tell. Whenever the long answer question is given, remember that number 1, introduction. Write 1 or 2 sentences of the introduction. Number 2, meaning. Write 1 or 2 sentences of meaning. Number 3, definition. 1 or 2 definitions. Minimum 1 definition. Maximum it is up to you. Okay. Next, number 4. Fourth one is relating to the body matter. Body matter means what is the question being asked. For example, they ask you about the principles of cooperative societies. Put the side heading principles and note down the everything under the side headings and under the points only. Okay, so everything, remember that this should be not in paragraphs. Don't write in paragraphs. Write in the side headings. With points only you write it. That will be clear. Don't make it as essay in paragraphs for the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 pages. Okay, it will not be interesting for anyone. So that is why make it in side headings with points only. Every time you remember this point. Side headings, points. Side headings with points. Okay, after that, in the last concept, you put the side heading conclusion and write about the conclusion of that particular topic. So again, I repeat, first introduction, second meaning, third one is definition, fourth one is the body matter. What is the question being asked? That one you put the side heading. For example, they ask the sole proprietorship merits and demerits. So put the side heading merits, next demerits, write in the side headings with points. Finally, in the last part, that is 5th part, you write the conclusion, 5th or 6th part. So with this long answer question, you can score maximum marks. Remember that. At the same time, for the short answer question, remember that make sure that first you have to write the meaning. Write the meaning of one sentence or two sentences at least. After that, write everything in the point wise, at least minimum 5 points. So these tips try to follow. At the same time, if you are the perfect with this, easily you can write the objective type questions. Hope you understood. Any doubts?
Can you repeat again, madam?
Which one, ma?
Long answer.
Long answer once again. Introduction. Meaning. All these side headings you write and inner you fill up. Okay. Only 1 or 2 sentences of each. Definition or definitions. The fourth one is body matter. Body matter means don't put body matter as side heading. Just you put what is the question being asked, that one you put the side heading and write in point wise with side headings. Side headings, underlining the side heading is important. Okay, right?
Okay, madam.
The
Thank you.
last conclusion. Last conclusion. So I kept my phone number. If you have any queries before the exam, just you can call me for your doubts. Hope you understood all the topics. Okay, so thank you for joining. I wish everyone to score more marks or to get the grades. If it is great, I expect everyone should get the O grade. So don't be intense. Okay, follow my tips, whatever I told, follow those points. Okay, put the side headings with the point wise, then you can score more marks. And if you get more marks, you're free to call me and share your marks also, or the grade, whatever it is. I'll be the first happiest person. So
Thank you, ma'am.
may God bless everyone. I
Thank
wish
you so much,
best
ma'am.
of luck. Write well for
Thank you, ma'am.
exam.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.